Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Waifu. So, as you might have noticed, this does not say episode 11. This says episode 1. As you also probably noticed, my room and I look the exact same as we did in the last video. Because they're being recorded right after each other. Yeah, so I honestly don't really have a ton of time to make videos for Friday and Saturday, and if I do, they won't even release until probably Monday, Tuesday, whenever I actually get to uploading them or scheduling them or whatever. Go enjoy your Saturday, go enjoy your Sunday, don't waste your time watching me. Today is the first episode dedicated to the board game, and it's not going to be a long one, mostly because I am still in the very early stages of the first wave. Because honestly, there's so much to do. So this is basically a remake of episode 2 of the Conversation series, which if you haven't already, go make sure to check it out. It's episodes 1 through 10 was the most recent. I just kind of talk about things on my mind. I do like pseudo movie reviews and stuff like that. If it's on my mind, I'm going to talk about it that way. This is the first video that's actually dedicated to something else, and it's going to be dedicated to the board game. So, in case you don't know, for the last about year, I've been designing my own board game based off of kind of whatever I want. And it's been a process. It's turned from like a Dungeons and Dragons type game in terms of roleplay with big books and stuff to... And that really honestly didn't make it past like the first couple stages. Then I moved into a dice game, which didn't make it past actual beta testing. I actually did test the cards with my brothers and, you know, my dad and stuff like that, and at the end of the day, we were just like, yeah, this is not... It's cool, but it's not going to work. So this time is more of a grid-like game with certain things going on to kind of make it as fun and entertaining, but also as strategic as possible, right? I want to design a game that is really good at grabbing new players and pulling them in, but also keeping longtime players or people who just love card games and strategy games in general, keeping them in. And there's a lot of different things that I'm going to try to appeal to. I've been working on the website for a while. I've been trying to make sure all of the cards and stuff are right. And this is kind of a log to make sure that not only do I continue working on the card game, but also so that I actually can keep you guys updated on what's going on with the card game, right? I want to make sure you guys are in on it so that eventually we can all play it together, right? That's kind of the goal. Make a fun game, make sure we can all play it together. So, what am I doing and how is it going? So, for the first episode, you know, for the last like couple months, I've really been working hard on the set list for the first wave. The general plot of the game is basically... DC meets anime, and they fight. It wasn't always like that. It was original characters, and then it was only anime for the dice game. Now I kind of wanted to throw some DC stuff into it, because I feel like it'd be really interesting to see how a fight between All Might and Superman goes down. Anyone who has read a Superman comic book knows exactly who's going to win. But, you know, either way, still a cool idea, I think. Probably, maybe. I don't even really know. So yeah, kind of all over the place. We're just gonna have to kind of see, right? Yeah. So, I think I'm just gonna go down the line. What am I currently working on? What is currently the most important thing for this card game? And that is simply trying to finalize the rules. There are a couple things that I really have to do, and there are a couple things that are going to have to be done in the future, and I kind of want to make sure that I am prepared for anything and everything in the card game to change. First off, how am I going to make a card game? That's a good question. I'm going to use a online card system called Dolst, which basically allows me to make my own cards and turn them into a Hearthstone-like card game. With the little exception that... my game is nothing like Hearthstone, so the actual engine to play the game won't work at all. Like, at all. So, yeah, that's not going to be easy. I don't really want to use Dolst anyway, as I kind of want to make this an IRL game. I feel like a lot of the abilities and stuff I want to turn into a game is just not going to do well in an electronic setting, because, I mean, think about it from the perspective where, like, some of the stuff I may decide to do, or I may invent, or I may make, might very possibly just be really difficult to code into a video game. It's just not worth it right now, you know? Now, I might be able to do it for something like Roblox, like a couple years down the line, but at this moment in time, I'm really a lot more worried about just making sure the physical is done. And making sure, I've considered, like, okay, I'm going to make a small deck of just beta cards, and then I'm going to just kind of play test them. And honestly, that's still my general thought is basically what I'm doing is I'm taking a Google spreadsheet and I'm just making a list of all of the cards I want, different kinds, different things, and I'm kind of coming up with things as I do. We have a couple different types of cards, and I'm not going to go into any of them now. Those are going to be completely separate videos. I think next week's episode, episode 2, is the week we're really going to go in depth on what the different card types are, so then we can build off of that. But a couple different card types, and I'm kind of just saying, okay, if something needs to be added, if I need to do something in particular, how is that going to work, right? And it's not easy. It's a lot of just writing stuff down on a notepad or kind of putting it into a Google Doc, which the rulebook is also somewhat coming along. I feel like it's easier to write a rulebook once you kind of already have everything done and in place, and that way you can just say, okay, that's how this works, let's just write everything down. And the best part about an online rulebook is that, yes, I'm going to put it onto a website, which is one of the things I'm working on that can kind of take you to everywhere. But that really isn't the main thing right now. And, having the rulebook on the website, which is kind of where I got back to, means that it can be updated regularly and it can be easily updated. If I can just make a post on an Instagram page and be like, hey guys, just updated the rulebook, go check it out if you want to go see it. These are the rule changes I'm making, or these are the things I added or changed. If you want to go read them for yourself, go check them out. I'll make a summary page, whatever. That'll be so much easier than having to reprint manuals and stuff like that, or making sure I have the definitive booklet before I give it out, because eventually, games change, games evolve. If you look at a Yu-Gi-Oh manual from 2000, and then you look at a Yu-Gi-Oh manual from 2023, guess how different they're going to be? Completely different, if not mostly different. So I think it really comes down to, things need to change. Things are going to change, and eventually you kind of have to make the decision, okay, am I going to make this finalized, or I'm going to make it open for updating, and kind of both, right? I want it open enough, I want the rules open enough to where things in the game can go absolutely balls to the walls crazy, but also open and shut enough to where if people want to become judges, or we want to do maps like on Twitch, matches like on Twitch and stuff like that, which would be freaking awesome. I don't know how we would do it, but I'm thinking very long term. We can have judges that can say, okay, the rules clearly say, you can do this, 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 but you can't do this, this, and this, right? So that's kind of where I am with that, and that's really where I want everything to go. Who is the first wave based off of, right? So when it comes to my card game, I really want support for both anime and DC, but I kind of want them to coincide because I want it to be like a versus thing. So who's going to be in each? Wave 1 is going to consist of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 1 and Man of Steel, based off of the movie and based off of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 1. And I think this is perfect, right? 2 series, a ton of characters in each that could very easily be fit in, good places to start. And I feel like if people were interested in the game but have no idea, like, hey, I'm an anime fan and I want to play this game, what's a Man of Steel, right? They'll watch the movie and they'll be like, oh, this movie's really cool. It takes place in a universe, just like Marvel or just like My Hero Academia, right? And then so they watch, BVS and Justice League and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I'm going with it, right? Or DC fans who are like, oh, what's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? That's a really cool thing. That's a really cool ability. I want to kind of mesh that into I'm really glad they meshed it into a game, because now I'm going to go watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure because I think it's cool, right? So that's kind of where I am with that whole bit is JoJo Part 1, Man of Steel, the movie. After that, Wave 2 is already 100% decided. I don't know if I'm going to spoil it now, but it is another anime, obviously, for the anime side, and another DC movie, but it's not like JoJo Part 2 and BVS, right? I don't want to kind of go in a straight line with each of them, because I feel like when it comes down to it, if I were to go all JoJo and all DCEU, guess what's going to happen, right? it's going to be A, oversaturated with the same thing, and B, it's just going to be boring because there are there are people who don't like JoJo. There are people who don't care for the DCEU, but they like, the Dark Knight trilogy, or they like My Hero Academia, right? So I want other shows to be able to mesh in there so that, yeah, I'm going to get to characters in JoJo Part 5 and Part 6, and I'm going to get to the Justice League Snyder Cut. But it's also like, I have to get there slowly, and I have to do the smart thing by kind of weaving in and out of these universes. BVS might not even come out until Wave 4 or Wave 5, right? That's kind of where I am with that. So I'm trying to make sure everything works. I'm trying to make sure everything goes well. And I'm trying to kind of put together a plan and a timeline, as well as a story mode. So, in HeroClix, which is a game that this is very loosely based off of, I say loosely, really the only thing it has to... The only similarity is the fact that it works on a grid. In HeroClix, one of the things that you can do is you have these little cards, and they can tell you, hey, this is how you can play a special story or a special mission. And I kind of have a really interesting story mode idea in place that you can either play through or just read. So that's going to be one of the other things important on the website. The website should be launching soon. Not like today soon, like within the next month soon. So that's kind of where I am with that. I'm really excited. Honestly, that's really all I am with the game. Is next week is going to be a lot more important. We're going to get into a lot more stuff, but I'm still so early on in everything that's going on. Kind of don't have a ton to talk about today. But, regardless, I'm excited to see how the future goes, where it goes, and I am really excited to see how you guys feel about it. So let me know in the comment section below if there's any anime you want me to include early on, if there's any DC, projects that you want me to include. Let me know, Give me your thoughts, give me your opinions in the comment section down below. I love it when you guys comment. I try to respond to every single comment. Sometimes, for some reason, YouTube just refuses to show me comments. So, if you want to see, or if you want me to respond to your comment, post a comment. Show me. Is this? Oh, no. Yeah, so show me your comment. Send me a comment. Say hi, Say hi. Or ask me a question about the game that I can try to answer. Or, if you ask me a question in today's episode, next episode, this is what I'm going to do. If you ask me a question in today's episode, and I heart it, I will be answering it in the next episode of the series. So, if you guys are interested in asking a question about the game, drop a comment down below, a question. I'll heart it, probably heart it no matter what. But I'll, hey, this is a good question. I'll talk about this in the next episode so I can go a little bit more in depth than just a sentence, right? So I'm actually really excited for that. Drop a couple questions down below. I would love to answer them. So yeah, go enjoy your Friday. Go hang out with your friends, your family. Do whatever you got to do. I have no life, so I'm probably just going to sit here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell to get notified every time I upload a brand new video. And hit the like button, because we get a good amount of views, but we don't get any likes. So hit the like button. And remember, ask a question down below if you want to be featured in the next episode. I will, say your name, too, if you want me to, like your username. I'll say, hey, blank asked the question. Give you some credit for it. I think you deserve it. All things considered, guys, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I am out.